What if I told you that the greatest disaster in human history began not with a war, not with a flood, but with a simple wooden box? And what if the person responsible for opening that box was not a villain, but the most beautiful woman ever created? This is the story of Pandora, the first woman on Earth, a being crafted by gods, blessed by goddesses, and armed with a deadly curse: curiosity. You may think you know this myth, a box, a woman, and all the evils of the world flying out. But the real story is darker, stranger, and more philosophical than any fairy tale. Because hidden inside that ancient Greek box was one final gift. A gift that still keeps humanity alive today, even after thousands of years of suffering. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at hope the same way again.
Our story begins not with Pandora, but with a war. A war between two titans and the king of the gods himself, Zeus. One of those titans was Prometheus. His name means forethought, he who thinks ahead. Prometheus had fought alongside Zeus in the Great Titanomachy, the war that established the Olympians as rulers of the cosmos. But after the war, Prometheus saw something that angered the gods. He saw humans, naked, shivering, living in dark caves, dying of cold and hunger, and he felt pity. So Prometheus did the unthinkable. He climbed to Mount Olympus, lit a torch from the sun's chariot, and hid fire inside a hollow fennel stalk. Then he brought it down to humanity. Fire was not just warmth. Fire was technology, art, medicine, cooking, metalworking. Fire was civilization itself. When Zeus looked down from his throne and saw smoke rising from human cities, he became furious. How dared a titan give his divine gift to mere mortals? Zeus could not take fire back, so he decided on a much crueler punishment. First, he chained Prometheus to a rock and sent an eagle to eat his liver every day for eternity. But that was not enough. Zeus wanted to punish humanity forever, and for that he needed something worse than fire. He needed a woman.
Zeus called Hephaestus the blacksmith of the gods. Hephaestus was lame, ugly, but his hands could shape anything. Zeus commanded him, mix earth and water, breathe life into clay, sculpt the first woman. Hephaestus worked in his forge beneath a volcano. Sparks flew as he hammered cheekbones, carved fingers, shaped breasts and long dark hair. When he finished, she was stunning, more beautiful than any statue. Then Zeus invited all the gods to bring her gifts. This is why she was named Pandora, the one who has all gifts. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, gave her irresistible charm and the power to make men desire her. Athena gave her fine robes, a silver crown, and the skill of weaving. Hermes, the trickster god, gave her something far more dangerous: a knavish mind, a deceptive heart, and the talent for lies. Finally, Hera gave her the most human quality of all: boundless curiosity. But Zeus hid one last thing inside her, something she could not see or feel. Inside Pandora's soul, Zeus placed a heavy jar, a pithos. The Greeks did not call it a box, they called it a storage jar, larger than a person, sealed with wax and heavy ropes. And inside that jar were all the evils of the world: sickness, death, jealousy, hatred, greed, lies, old age, madness, and despair. Zeus gave Pandora one instruction: never open this jar. Then he sent her to Earth as a gift for Prometheus, Prometheus' brother.
Prometheus, whose name means afterthought, was the opposite of his brother. He never thought before acting. Prometheus had warned him, never accept any gift from Zeus. But when Prometheus saw Pandora standing at his door, her dark hair flowing, her silver crown shining, he forgot every warning. He married her that same day. The first days were paradise. Pandora cooked, wove, and laughed. But the jar sat in the corner of their home. It was massive, made of dark terracotta, covered in strange carvings of monsters and gods. And it whispered. At night, Pandora heard sounds from inside the jar. Scraping, crying, laughter, whispers in languages she did not understand. Every day she walked past it. Every night she dreamed of opening it. What was inside? Treasure? A divine secret? Freedom? Prometheus told her, do not touch it. But his warning was weak, because even he did not know what Zeus had hidden inside. One night, after Prometheus fell asleep, Pandora could resist no longer. She walked to the jar. She touched the wax seal. It was soft and warm. Her heart was pounding. She lifted the lid, just a crack, and then silence. For one terrible second, nothing happened. Pandora thought, see, nothing to fear. But then, the jar exploded. Out flew creatures she could not see. They had no shape, no color, but she felt them. Old age wrapped around her fingers, making them stiff. Sickness crawled into her lungs, and she coughed blood. Jealousy stabbed her heart as she looked at sleeping Prometheus. Greed whispered in her ear, take more, open wider. Despair fell like a heavy blanket. Pandora screamed, but no sound came out. She slammed the lid shut as fast as she could. But it was too late. All the evils had escaped. They flew out the windows, under the door, into the soil, into the water, into the air. They spread across the entire world. And they have never left. Every tear you have cried, every pain you have felt, every loss you have suffered, all of it came from Pandora's jar. Pandora fell to her knees, sobbing. She had destroyed humanity. She was the first sinner, the first failure, the first mother of every disaster.
But then she heard something, a soft flutter inside the jar. Trembling, she lifted the lid again, just a tiny crack, and out flew a single small creature. It was not dark like the others. It glowed, golden, warm, gentle. It landed on her finger, and Pandora felt something she had never felt before. Peace. Not happiness, not joy, something deeper. The feeling that even after total disaster, tomorrow might still be better. That creature was Elpis, hope. Zeus had trapped hope inside the jar with all the evils. Why? No one knows for certain. Some say Zeus wanted to give humanity a small comfort, because even cruel gods need their toys to survive. Others say hope is the cruelest evil of all, because it makes us suffer tomorrow for promises today. But the ancient Greeks believed something beautiful. They believed that hope stays with us, no matter what. Even when sickness comes, hope remains. Even when death takes someone we love, hope remains. Even when the world is falling apart, hope is the last thing to leave.
So here is the question this myth asks every single one of us. If hope lives inside the same jar as every evil? Is hope itself an evil? Or is it the only weapon we have against them? Think about it. When you are sick, hope makes you visit the doctor. When you are sad, hope makes you wake up tomorrow. When you lose everything, hope makes you start again. Without hope, the evils would have won long ago. But with hope, even Pandora, the woman who destroyed paradise, could keep living. And so can we. This is the power of Greek mythology. Not just stories about gods and monsters, but deep questions about what it means to be human. If you want more myths explained like this, with deep storytelling and cinematic visuals, subscribe to this channel. Because in the next video, we will travel north, to the frozen world of the Vikings, to the story of Thor losing his hammer, and the strangest wedding in mythology. I will see you in that video. Until then, keep hope inside your jar, but never stop being curious.